Good morning, everyone. This is Karen, and I am with Inspired by Graham. Thanks so much for joining me this morning on Friday, April 4th, 2025. It's going to be a great day here. It is very sunny, and I'm going to be getting outside and working and cleaning up our yard after this live. So that'll be fun. But in the meantime, we're going to be making some alternatives from the Daydream March 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. I created the other three cards a couple weeks ago, and then had to take a break because of my retreat. And then I'm going to create some alternatives with some notepads and a 3x3 post-it note. I'm going to be in a craft fair May 3rd. It's a Saturday. And I need some craft fair projects to get going. So I've had these in my closet for a long time. And my goal is to get that closet clean by the end of the year. So I can put more things in there, but refill it up to create more items to sell. I love working with journals and notepads. That's my favorite thing to do. And I thought that the Daydream could do that. So this is my Wing It Wednesday, but on Friday. So I have nothing planned except for I'm going to create something with you today. So I thought I would start here and then go to my 3x3 post-it notes. So just as a reminder, this is the Daydream March 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit. And is a very beautiful, very beautiful. My team name is Inspired Daisies. So I challenge all of our team members to purchase the Daydream. Just because we're the daisies and it's super fun, and daisies are always happy in my mind. So let's get started. The first thing I like to do is I like to find out what the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors are in the kit every single month. So you just turn it to the back side where it says get started, and here it shows all of the parts that are included in the kit for that month. And then over here it shows you additional items that you can purchase that go with the kit for 3 solid months. The stamp set is it's a double stamp set, so we have 2 stamp sets in March, so lots of options for you. But let's go over the coordinating Stampin' Up! Colors. They are Basic Black, Crumb Cake, Crushed Curry, Lemon Lime Twist, Lost Lagoon, Mossy Meadow, Soft Seafoam, and Very Vanilla. I did add in Basic White because the white that's in the daisies. So let's put those all in front of us. And this is what they look like. So I think what I want to do with the notepad is to use Mossy Meadow. I think that's going to be a nice dark background. And then we will build up from that. My inspiration, excuse me, I'm going to cough. I know I'm going to cough. Is this card here from Susan T. She makes beautiful cards. And I saw this on my wall and I was like, oh, that's a great inspiration. So I like how she layered all of the different colors here of cardstock and then added some strips of designer paper. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use the pattern of the daisies here. But I just really like how she layered all of these together. So that's what my goal is to do, is kind of do some layering. So what you need to do first is you need to measure your notepad. So let me grab a pencil and let me grab some paper here. So sometimes not always, but sometimes, notepads, they say they're 4 inches by 6, which is like right here, but sometimes they're not. So you really have to measure them every single time. So this one is pretty spot on, 4 inches going across here. But let's check this distance here. Do not include this little black spine here. I'm going to attempt to cover that. It's very rough and hard, so I'm not sure how adhesive is going to stick on that. I might have to leave it off and just leave it black, but we're going to give it a try. So this is supposed to be, of course, it's 6 inches from the top to the bottom, but let's see what it is from the bottom of the spine to the bottom of the notepad. And it looks like it is, if I get there, it looks like it's 5, so it's gonna be 4 inches across by 5 9/16. So not exactly 5.5, but there's one little more tick mark that paper comes to. Now, if we were to measure another one, and I've got another one right here, let's see what we find. It might be the same exact thing, but it could be different as well. So let's check the distance across, and got that over there. That looks good. It's 4. And then we'll put this up here. And it's a little bit more. Okay, so I've got my ruler right to the bottom of that black over here. But if I extend it over, it's more 5/8. So always double check your distance from the, the top to the bottom, because it can be off. And you don't want to be off even by a 1/16 of an inch, because you're going to see the top of this note, the cover here. So just a little tidbit for you, to just be careful with measuring. Always measure. So I'm going to take my Mossy Meadow from this pack here, and we'll use that one. This is all I have from Lost Lagoon. We used this color at my retreat, and someone needed some sheets, so I had a few extra. And that's all I've got left. I've got to order a bunch of cardstock, actually. I got to make my list. Right now, I've been the last few days going through all of my products in anticipation of working with the annual catalog for 20 to 25. Okay, so 4 by 5 9/16. So I'm going to cut this at 4, because now we can get, actually, no, I'm going to open this up. Oh no, you know what? I don't need to do that. Let's cut it in half. That way I'm not cutting the whole thing. I can get 2 out of here. So 5, that corner's bent, so I'm gonna go this way. So 5 9/16. So that's the 1 tick mark past the 1/2 inch. All right, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the 9th tick mark is where you're going to cut. You can actually use this for 2 more. And then this is going to be 4 inches. I don't like how that's bent, so let me just turn it around and we'll go 4 inches. I don't know if this is going to work out. Again, this is Wing It Wednesday, but on Friday. Wednesday I had to work my day job, so that's kind of why it's today. I'm going to double check. Oops, see, I'm off. Why? Oh, you know why? It's because this is the one I just measured. The other one is over here. So let's see. Oh, I was going to work outside, but I just heard the wind gust, and that's going to be crazy. I can't use a leaf blower. So, it is off just by a tiny bit. I'm not going to worry about that too much, although that's going to really bother me, that little piece. So must be This is 4 1/16. So let's get this one. 4 1/16. That's the way I want to go. Maybe I want to go 1/8 because I can always trim that additional 1/16 of an inch off. I can use this for something else for sure. Okay, so now it is definitely over the edge too much. So we're going to take another we're going to take a 1/16 of an inch off. So 4 1/16. Oh, wait, that's too much. It's just that gray part of my trimmer. So just a little bit. It's kind of like a hairline. Let's recheck it. There. Now, if you're showing some blue down here, don't worry about it because you're going to cover this spine up hopefully. And so it really won't matter too much. All right, so that's that. And then what I want to do is I want to take one of these card bases from the Daydream and cut it. So let me just cut it at 4 1/4. So we're going to just cut it in half. I didn't cut very well. I must have something in my trimmer or something. All right, we definitely save this for something else. And then I like to use like 3x4s or 4x3s because you can maximize your paper. But if we use 4, it's going to bring it down to about here. I'm trying to get 2 pieces out of it, but I don't think it's going to work with my layout here that I want to accomplish with this one. So I'm going to have to cut this. Let's see. So that was 4 1/16. So let me just guess here. 1, 2, 3. 4 11/16 maybe. I'm gonna start at 4 and reduce every 1/16 of an inch. Okay, so that is just a little bit. So if you want a really fine border, that's what you're going to get. Okay, I like tiny borders, but I might want a little bit bigger border. Yeah, I'm going to want a little bit bigger border so I can see more of the mossy meadow. So let's cut another 1/16 of an inch off the side. And again, I'm looking at the pattern on this side to compare. And over here, I've got more of the honeycomb and blank space really. Whereas over here, it's cut right to the like foliage line. So I'm going to shave off a little bit on the right side, 1/16 of an inch. And now let's compare. That's a little bit better, but I think I'm going to want just a little bit more, but let me see. I'm going to go 1 more 1/16. So this is kind of how I put things together, just because, you know, the manufacturers make it a little difficult when they don't have our notepads, the exact same size. Okay, so I think this is going to be better. Yeah. Okay. So now I need to start cutting from the bottom or the top. So I also look at that, and I think I can get away with at least a 1/16 of an inch at the top. And then we can just take another look at it. And I'm going to take 1 more 1/16 of an inch off so it will match the sides here because it's just a little bit too long. And again, I'm going to take off the top because there's this like lemon lolly kind of area. So let's just take that off. There we go. That's much better. So now we have something like this. Okay, so if you wanted to just do this, you could. Okay, and then if you wanted to have additional panels like the card here, you would have to keep cutting this down. All right. I really like all those daisies, so I think I'm gonna just leave it as is. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm gonna do. Let's leave it as is. Okay, so that's kind of what it's gonna look like. Now, the back side, you want to cover this up, right? It's kind of ugly. So you can add some designer paper. And what I would do probably is add a piece of the envelope flap. So this one again, I'm going to cut it at 5 1/8 just so I have a little leeway. And again, this is going to be what, I think it was 4 inches. Yeah, but I'm going to cut it at 4 1/16 just in case. So let's look at our envelopes here and see if we can find a pattern that's going to work for the back side. This one could, yeah. I mean, it's supposed to go like this, but it's okay if the bee is flying towards the right side. So this is an option. This one here that has the little punch out, of course, that's what we would take this out and see. And we could put something under there if we wanted to, like, I don't know, maybe some more honeycomb like that, but I'm not really liking that. So I think I'm going to take the other side of that card base that we cut off and add it all the way. Yeah, I think I'm going to use this side, even though it's supposed to go horizontal. I think it's still fine going this way. And at the bottom here, you can tell that it is off by a little bit. So we're going to have to layer this with some more Mossy Meadow. So let me just take another panel, and honestly can't remember what this one is going to be. So this one is 4 1/16. So I want to cut this one 4 1/8. Yeah, let's go 4 1/8, just so I have that extra 1/16 of an inch to work with. And then this one goes 5 1/8. Yeah, so I'm going to go 5 1/8 plus 1 tick mark. Yep, so it is over the edge here by a little bit, but I think I'm gonna just leave it on there for right now because I can take my paper snips and cut those off. So that's that, and then we need to cut down this piece here. So again, this is 4 1/8. So I'm going to cut this at 4. So I'm going to line up this side because I want this design. And I'm going to cut this down at 4. This is trash. And then we'll have an envelope flap that you can work with on some other project. And then I want, of course, this is again an envelope, so we do need to cut it off. Or you could leave it for stiffness if you wanted to. I'm just gonna cut it off because I can use the back side because it's gonna be these patterns. You could totally use that for something else. So just cut that off, just again, another 1/16 of an inch, really. That one didn't cut very well. And this one, what was it again? I'm sorry, totally. This is the one that's for the back. Yeah, this one's a little bit longer. I most definitely should number these front and back. So let's see what this one is. Okay, so that was 5 1/8. Well, no. There, 5 1/8 plus a tick mark. So I'm gonna cut this one at 5 1/8, which is right at that score line. Okay, so we do still need to cut this down. But what I think I want to do is I want to glue this on, because then I can figure out how much I need of the DSP. I'm just afraid I'm going to cut it too short. So we'll just work with this one as we go. So I think I'm done with my paper trimmer, and I actually need to run over and get some tear and tape. I forgot that. I got a lot of extra tear and tapes from other kits, so I always like to use these first. And the reason why I like to use the tear and tape is because it's super sticky, and you can control the tape and get it really close to the edge. And of course you can tear it off as well. So make sure you add your adhesive right to the end. Sorry, I was out of the picture there. I'm gonna bring this camera a little bit closer here. Whoa, almost tipped over. All right, and then we'll tear this off. Now I will have another video that's just instruction and not live, and I'll be using different paper. And if you would like to see this as a farmer's market crafting kit, let me know in the comments, because I'm going to be getting back into the farmer markets crafting kits. And it would include some notebooks, some designer paper, tear and tape, like a lot of different things to make your notebook. Okay, so that's on there. Since I'm working with the tear and tape, let's take the tear and tape and add it to the front. Remember, this is Wing It Wednesday, and I could totally fail on this project. Who knows? But Wing It Wednesday on Friday, because I had to work and did not have time in my day to do a live that day. So I'm here Friday. And we'll X this. I always like to put an X. That way we've got a lot of tear and tape on the front. Oh my gosh. I just looked over and there's like a ton of comments. I wasn't even paying attention. So let me just take a look and see what these are. Good morning, Debbie. Christina, thank you so much for watching. And awesome. Yes, Debbie, very nice weather today, right? All right, so you can take your bone folder and press these down, or you can use your fingers, whatever works for you. Thought I had a bone folder over here, but it doesn't appear that I do. Now I got to figure out which one was the front and which one's the back, because they're a little different in size. Darn it, I should have totally. I think this is for the front. Yeah. Yeah, and it's okay to drop it down because we're going to cover that up. So I think that one's going to be good. Front, and I'm going to put the back over here. Now, to cover up the top, I like this envelope flap because of those pretty daisies, right? And how can we do that? So if I had this on here, I have to put this down. Well, you know, I've never done it this way, but I'm thinking here out loud. And I'm searching for that panel I cut. And where did it go? It's probably right in front of me. Darn it. That's the back. There it is. So I'm just wondering. No. I was thinking we could fold it over like that, but that is super busy. And this may not work. I don't think it's going to work. So then what I would do is I would take some of the thicker panels and add that. And we would wrap it around. So I'd want quite a bit of this honeycomb to show. Yeah, I don't even know if I'm going to like that. So let's take a look and see what options we have. I think this one is going to be the one I want, because it's gonna definitely match the back side. And I could go this way with it, because you want to put this on before you put the cover on. Yep, I'm going to wing it. And so I like to just figure out kind of where my score lines are going to be. And it doesn't matter if we go all the way down a little bit. So I am going to just take my pen and just make a mark right there, because that's going to be my cutting mark. And it looks like it's in half. So I'll grab my paper trimmer and I'm going to cut this off. And I'm going to make a score line here. I'm just kind of help it wrap around. Yeah, that's going to go great. And then I'm going to make another score line right about there. It's okay if it's off. This is going to actually help you just wrap it around. Okay. And then I need to cut this. We can just add it here. And it doesn't matter where this tick mark is going to go, because we're going to cover it up anyway. So right about there. And we'll just cut this off. You can use this for something else, maybe a little like highlighting banner. So I would save that. And I'm going to grab my bone folder, because really with this project, I can find it. There it is. You definitely need to use a bone folder to kind of curl this around. So let's just burnish both of these score lines that we just made. Okay. And then that's going to look good, but always turn it around, because you never know what's on the back side for the oh, actually, no, it's not going to work. Oh yeah, it will. You never know what's on the back side, and it might look better. I'm going to go with this one here, okay? Because then once we get this on, we're going to adhere this panel to here. It's going to go right on here, okay? And then this becomes your cover. So again, I like to use my tear and tape, and I like to actually put it on the notebook and not the paper. And I always put some on the top here. And then, oops, we're done with that one, but that's okay. We can use this little piece. Oops. Come on. And I'll grab another one wherever they are. Right there. This is why I love our kits, because we get too much stuff with kits, and that way we can use them on something else. I'm going to add another line of tear and tape here, because this is these notebooks really are stiff. And I think it's just going to need an extra line of tear and tape. So now with my bone folder, I'm going to just press all these down to get the bubbles out and that adhesive right onto that front and back side. There we go. And we're going to start with the top here. So I've got that one pulled off. And then I'm going to take this one. I'm not going to remove these because this is on my work surface. Oh, goodness. The adhesive stayed on here, so I don't know about this. I might have to use liquid glue. Let me just try that one more time. Sometimes you just never know. There we go. It did stay on. All right, so now with the piece here, we're going to go past the black by just like a 1/16 of an inch. That way we know, whoops, it's covered. And use your bone folder. Oh, wait a minute. Did I use the wrong side? Ugh. Well, that stinks. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. I just didn't put it down far enough. See, this is what you're going to get. You never know what you're going to get on a Wing It Wednesday, Friday. So now I'm just pulling off, removing the back side of the tear and tape where the spine is. I'm going to leave this one on because this is... Actually, no, I'm going to take it off. See, my score lines did not work out, but that's okay. We'll cover them up. So you want to make that super tight. Okay, see how that is? It's really nice and tight. And if you have to, keep using your bone folder like this. And that will get it on there. So that's stuck pretty good. So now I'm going to take my beautiful flower paper and just double check. Yep, I think this is I hope this is going to work. For this part, I'm just going to use some liquid glue, and I got a brand new bottle here that I need to open up. And with a brand new bottle, we all know that that glue is going to come out really quick. So just be careful with that. And then we'll add it to the Mossy Meadow. And then we're going to add it right to the front. Okay, so now we'll have to remove all these pieces, the backings of the tear and tape, which isn't that hard to do. If you don't have fingernails, then just grab your piercing tool and you can use your piercing tool to get these off. There we go. Lots of tear and tape backings. Now, this is the most important part because this is what you're going to see first, right? On the front side. Always double check your paper is going the correct way because this is directional, folks, okay? So mine is going correctly. And I'm going to start at the bottom because it doesn't matter on the top because we know it's going to overlap on up here. So I might have to, oh boy, this is going to be hard because normally I would have my face like right down on it, but let's see if I can get this. There we go. And I'm just using my fingers. I think it's on there pretty good. So I'm just going to smooth it out, press it down there, get that adhesive to work. And let's see how it opens. Yep, that's exactly what I wanted. Now you can see I've got a little mossy meadow extending over the edge. You can take that off if you want with your paper snips. Now this is not adhering because guess what? I did not put adhesive up here. So let's see if I can get some on there. So I don't know, I might have to pull this up a little bit. Darn it. Wasn't thinking there. See if I can sneak it in there. Yes, I did. Okay, just get that stuck down and pull that backing up. I'm just feeling around here. There, now it will stick. I got a little adhesive coming over the edge, but I can just take my adhesive eraser to take that off. It's just a little bit right there. Okay, now I think this is pretty enough, just like this. You can look around, and if you do want to take this green off, let me show you how to do that. Your paper snips are your like best thing to use because the paper snips can get so close to the paper. And like this is such a small piece. Just going super slow. You can also use an emery board. And I'm going to clean up the edges with an emery board. Oh, goodness. Come on. There we go. And let's see this side. Just a little bit. So there we go. I think I'm getting there. There. I know it's not straight, but using an emery board, we can clean that up. But let's decorate the back side, and I was using this one. I'm not gonna, I don't know if I should put, I like how that is, but I'm not sure if I really like this. What if we do something with this to kind of put this up here, to kind of finish it off? I am going to use this flap. I really don't know how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. It could be a flop. Who knows? But I'm going to just keep it. Yeah, I'm not going to trim this off just because it's going to cover up there. Maybe actually I will. Let's take 1/4 of an inch off. Or thereabouts, a little less than 1/4 of an inch. I think that's going to be better. So we'll remove our tear and tape backings again. And then we'll add this, again, going bottom to the top. So find a corner there and then go all the way over to this corner. It's really sticky. There. Tear tape is going crazy. I'll take my bone folder and just really press this down. Okay, so now let's look at that flap. What can we do with a flap? I think we could fussy cut it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a try. Or just maybe arch it, like, don't go like crazy. Just go like maybe around it so you don't have all these little small pieces. So I'm just kind of curving around. Because you don't want really loose things here on the, especially on the back side. There. You see how that is? Let me just put it on the blue so you can see it. So I didn't make any kind of indentations with my fussy cutting. I just kind of made it a little bit smooth cutting on the outs of the top there. And now we're going to cut off the ends. I think this is going to be better, actually. We could drop it down. Yeah, I'm going to drop it down, although I got that score line right there, but that's okay. So I'm going to drop it down as far as this little seam there. Okay, I want to cover up the seams, so that means I'm going to just drop it down by maybe 1/16 of an inch. All right, so I'm gonna put the, let's see, how do I want to put the glue? I don't want to make a hot mess with the glue. I'm gonna fold this over. And fold this over, because I know that's where it's gonna get cut off. Okay, I'm going to use my paper snips to do that. So now I know where the adhesive needs to go. So we'll grab my tear and tape because I just love that. That way I can get really as close to the edge as I can. And this is pretty forgiving. And then up here, you can kind of curve it around, tear it off, and then come down this way. And then maybe right here. You also have the glue from the envelope flap that you could wet down if you wanted to. But let's get these creases out and those air bubbles. And then we'll pull this off. Now, I bought this a long time ago for $1 when the Dollar Tree was $1. But since it's $1.25 now, so how would I price this? Well, let's see. I'm going to come down a little bit, right about there. I probably, well, we got $1.25, just a notebook alone. You've got your time, okay? Don't forget about your time, even if you add $1. Okay, so that's $2.25. You got your paper. And that I used, well, if I would have cut it right. So say I used, probably could get 3 of the Mossy Meadows out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So you'd have to divide, what is it? Our new pricing of our cardstock. I can't remember what that is. Is it like $14? So I would divide that into how many sheets are in your pack, and then divide that by by 3. Okay, and that would get you your price. Ultimately, what I would probably charge for this is like maybe $5. I still need to bling it out. Or you can offer like a maybe 3 for, so if it was 15, 3 of them would be 15. So I'd probably drop it down to maybe $12 or $13. I always like to have that option of individual pricing and also like group pricing as well. It gives people lots of choices, and when people see they're getting a bargain, well, they're going to go for the higher number, so they're going to buy 3 of these versus just 1. So let me grab my eraser because there's a lot of messy stuff there. Let's see. Got this. My other eraser's buried. You should see my desk. It's not great. But I'm in the middle of reorganizing my craft room and getting ready for the 25-26 annual catalog, and trying to figure out what paper is staying, what paper is going. And I just spent about, I don't know, 45 minutes on an Excel spreadsheet. And for me, I have the Stampin' storage paper bins in my IKEA, and I'm going to make 3 sections. Hopefully that's all I need. One is going to be annual catalog 25-26. One is going to be online exclusives, and the other one is going to be carryover. Actually, I'm going to need a 4th one that says specialty paper, which I kind of like my foils to go in one area. So we'll see. I'll probably take a picture of it. I've already started on it, so I can't do the before, but I can certainly do the after. Okay, what do you guys think so far? I still think it needs something. And I think I want to bling this out with some Wink of Stella, because I think gems would really take away from the beauty of the paper. So I'm just going to go around and kind of bling out the centers of the flowers and then brush stroke over the petals with my Wink of Stella. And I'll show you one other thing you can do as well. If you want something a little bit more fancy on the front. Okay. In the paper pumpkin kit, you have all these like little pieces of daisies, these little die cuts. And you could match it up, because these do match up. But you always take the risk of it getting, here's one, I think this will work. Yeah, so this one, so it's that half daisy, fits this right here. Okay, what you could do is pop this up. Let me grab my dimensionals. And I think, oh, where'd those go? They were right here. So I think that this could be a problem, but I want to show it to you anyway. If I can find my dimensionals. Here we go. These are regular ones, so I'm just going to cut small pieces off. So add your dimensionals to the little daisy. I would put one on every single petal. Get 2 more here. You may or may want to do this. It's totally up to you. Make sure they're really pressed down there. And the smaller ones I like to peel off because I'm a little bit quicker. The larger ones, I use my piercing tool. And this is a delicate piece, so you don't want to go crazy. Okay. So then what I would do is put this right on top. And what it does is it shows a little bit of dimension. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just a little bit. You can bend up the petals too if you wanted to show it off a little bit. And of course I would totally bling this out just like the others. Now if you wanted to put ribbon on it, and some people like to do that, what would I do for ribbon? I think it would need to be white. Because we don't really have many choices yet. Actually, let me see. I've got a few. Because these are all active. I checked these ribbons. These are all going to be available. So we have the gold open weave trim, the woven ribbon, which is white, and then we have the striped trim iridescent. I love that. And we also have, see, it's a carryover. I'm marking things here, silver and white, and this is the sheer ribbon. I want some little sparkle, and I'm going to gravitate. I always gravitate to the sparkly ribbons. And if I was to add ribbon, I would probably add it right up here at the top if I wanted to. I think it kind of needs something. So let's see. I'm going to try a bow here. Who knows? And I like to tie a knot before I tie the bow. And let's see if I can get this on the first try. I'm not very good at tying bows, but I try my hardest. Okay, I want this smaller. Just, you don't have to, well, now it's going crazy. A lot of times you just, if you don't think about it and you just tie it, oops, it will come out good, but mine is being fussy. Darn it, I think I didn't. I didn't leave enough ribbon on the right side, but well, you guys know what a bow looks like. I don't want to spend like all day on this, but let me just shorten the bows here. And I would totally fix that, of course. It's kind of like, look at that ribbon. It's like totally wrong. It's going vertical and it should be like horizontal. So I'm going to grab some mini koi dots from my other paper pumpkin kits. And I love how they're making them a little bit bigger. And I'm going to try to put one under here and peel that backing off. And that way we can try to get this bow to stay put. Even if it's at an angle, it's okay. And I would just need to cut this down. There. And we open it, we can actually see the ribbon on the inside. I think that made it so much better. What do you guys think? Adding the ribbon, did that work? What else would you add to it? Let me know or let us know in the comments, what would you do? See, I just moved it and my fingers stuck on that. So this is like optional, I guess. If you want to add a little pop-up, I would suggest one of the daisies, but maybe the smallest one, okay? So then here's the back side. Oh, I love how pretty that is. That was a good choice. Now, if you want to file down the edges, that's pretty easy to do. You just need a emery board, and honestly, I get these at the DT, and I'll just take my emery board and just clean up the edges. Because remember, we used our paper snips to cut that down. There. I think that looks pretty good. I think it turned out great. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. That would be awesome if you could do that. And I'm going to, next up is the 3x3 sticky note pads. And actually this probably should have been the front now that I'm looking at it. Because it's just kind of, I don't know. I guess you could have a front and a back side. Anyway, I really like that. Okay, so now we're going to work with our 3x3s real quick. What time is it? Okay, it's been about an hour. And we can go and grab the cardstock kind of thingy here. And I always like to use a darker background just so that the image will pop. So I'm leaning towards basic black. And I think that's what I'm going to do. Now, I haven't made one of these in a couple years, so I have to refer to my notes here. And hopefully I won't screw it up. So we need to grab my paper trimmer. It needs to be 3 1/4 by 7 3/8. So what I would do is I would cut this to 7 3/8. 7 3/8 right over there. Cut this piece off. Save it because you might need it. This little strip. And then we rotate it to 3 1/4. 3 1/4. 3 1/4. So you're going to get 3 of these. Okay. Normally I would have scored all my lines at once and then cut it, but I'm only making one of these. So you can get 3 out of one sheet of cardstock. So you guys do the math on that. Oops, I still need my trimmer. Darn it. And now we're going to score our lines. And so the first score line is at 3 1/8. 3 1/2. And 3 7/8. Okay, so we've got 3 little lines there. Oh, and we got 2 spaces there. Boy, I hope I can remember how to make these. And then I say DSP is 2 3/4 by 3. So let's see what we have pieces already cut that we might be able to use with the black. Just kind of searching and searching. My eyes keep gravitating to this little envelope. We got the back side too. But it really doesn't have much black in it because that B right there, if we use this one, got that, but then you have all of this white stuff up here, like, or vanilla coloring there. You can also try to use the blue. And then here's the envelope flap. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going back to the daisy paper because you can get the, it's going to be 3 by 3. So guess what? You can get at least, you can get 2 of these out because this is 4 1/4. So if we cut this in half, well, first we'll cut it off because we don't want to cut up that back side. So let me just cut this at the score line. Oh shoot, see that what happens? You gotta move it over just a little bit so it doesn't hit that score line, because that's what it just created right there, that mess. Again, don't forget it's directional, okay? So I'm looking at the edges, and this is 3 or 4 1/4, or well, no, maybe 4 1/8, and I gotta take it, and I need to get this down to 3 inches. So right now I'm gonna just take a little bit off because I don't have a lot of room, and I like those daisies and the petals. So we'll just trim that off. And now we'll rotate it, and I need to get to 3. And I think that's gonna be okay. I can use this for something else. And then if we split this in half, we get, wait a minute, did I just do, no, we can only get 1, Karen. But look at that, it's gonna be pretty. Just like that. This you could also use, but you could maybe take some yellow crushed curry and just line it, and that would look good too. But I'm going to save that one. Maybe I'll have time to kind of put it together. So we're going to fold these. We're going back to the base here. Let's burnish these and get them folded really good. Okay, so we have all of them, and then I'm going to fold it in half. Okay, so we've got 3 score lines. Let's go back, 1, 2, and 3, folding it on the middle score line. Okay, so on the front side, this is the front side shorter than the back side. So then we'll turn it over, and we are going to add a pen slot. And this is where your paper snips come in really good, because you can make that extra little snip right to the score line. Then open it up, and on the side that has a little slot, you're going to put your tear and tape. So let's add it right here, and tear and tape is the best size because it gets most of that cardstock covered. And again, burnish. And then we remove these. And then you're going to take the left side and fold it all the way over to this score line here. Hopefully I do this right. Hopefully I do this right. And then we're going to fold it back. I like to fold it back and burnish it again so our lines are really nice. And then we're going to poke this out gently, and that becomes our little pen slot. Okay, so we're going to add a little pen, which I have a green one around here somewhere. But we're almost done, you guys, with this. These are so easy to whip up, and Let's see, where'd my little Post-it? There it is. It's on my other desk. Easy to whip up very quickly, and these are always, for me, a hot seller. I'm not sure. I used to sell them for $3 each and a special, but I got to figure out what my expenses are because I'm not sure if that price is going to stay the same or if it's going to have to increase. So say we keep it at $3 and I would sell $3 at an individual price, and then I would go 3 for maybe $8. So just added the tear and tape to the back side of the sticky notes. And make sure if you're using these and you don't say the brand names, make sure you say sticky notes because you can get hit up with a copyright. Because I did. But honest with you, I used the word on my title of my video from way back when, and I got a little notice from the company that I was infringing on their word. So I just changed it to sticky notes, and that was fine. But just be careful about that. See, now we got nice. Here is our little 3x3, and it goes, oh boy, I think it goes that way. Wait, let's turn it. Now I don't know which way it goes. Actually, I can tell by over here. Let's see. Yep, it goes this way. So this part I can just use, I would just use your liquid glue. Just get close to the edges, and then it gets centered on the front. Come on. Oh, you know what? I think this was supposed to be 2 3/4 by 3. All right, so sorry about that. I went ahead of myself. So that should have been 2 3/4 by 3. So there's a boo-boo for you. You can leave it like that. Let me see if I can find the pen that I was going to put in there. There it is. And it's green pen. Make sure that they write, okay? You don't want to give out products and it doesn't write. So always check your pens. This one actually writes in green, so that's kind of fun. And that little pen will go right there. And you can leave it just like that if you wanted to. And don't forget, when you are selling Stampin' Up! Products, you want to put the Angel Policy stamp on the back side. Now, black is really hard to stamp on and see it, but you can do it. There are a number of stamp sets that we have. I like to use this one because it has that Stampin' Up! Copyright. And I just normally would just stamp right there. So I do have some Garden Green ink. Or no, Mossy Meadow. And again, black is really hard to stamp on and see. But as long as you do this, you should be fine. So I just usually go like that. And you can barely see it, but that works. Also, I would put a little sticker on here with your information, your personalized information. Avery.com has great templates to use, and I use those all the time. They're free, and you can make some really beautiful labels. I just use the small address labels, and I can leave this just like this if I wanted to. But we'll have to bling it out with our Wink of Stella or add some little gems. Maybe some little gems would look good. But if I add little sparkly leaves, I think it'd be okay. And who doesn't like a daisy, right? There. Simple, easy teacher gift, whatever. Should I order? Yeah. But anyway, let's see. You could actually sell this as a little package as well, right? Both of them together as a little gift package. And then I would totally bump up the price. Definitely package these nicely. I use cello bags. I have never sold this one. So I don't know what size bag I would use. I do have some 5x7s, but you want to make sure it's a clear bag. That way people can see both sides. Now on this one, what I would do is I would stamp the angel policy. Let me just grab my ink again. On the inside cover here. And that's all you need to do, okay? Because it's got that copyright Stampin' Up on there, okay? That's all I have for you guys. I had a lot of fun recreating some craft fair items. Let me just see if there's any comments or questions. And if there's not, I need to sign off, and I'm going to go work outside for a little bit. It's already 11:13, so let's see. Cardstock is 11.50 right now. Yep. Okay. Right now, but what is it? Come May, I think it's $14. So 14 divided by 24 divided by 3 is what you would get for your individual piece of the Mossy Meadow. And on the black, we said we could get 3, so it would be the same price. And plus, of course, your Post-it notes or sticky notes. Your pen. I always find my pens on sale. I'm trying to look it up, but I'm not that fast. Okay, yeah, for 14 in the new catalog. So, yes, I would use the number 14 for the price because that's what we're going to be ordering cardstock at. I wouldn't include it as today's price, knowing that it's going to be going up. But it doesn't look like I have any other questions. And I will, let's see, what do I want to do? I would love to add this to my blog, but my blog is definitely like taking back, like way back door. Oh, I got some little, that's my little adhesive right there. I'll have to get that off. One thing I just saw though, if I wanted to do this as a gift or make it similar, I should have used black cardstock or Mossy Meadow on this one so that they match, right? That was a little error on my part, but that's okay. Now you can see what it looks like in basic black and Mossy Meadow, so you can determine which cardstock that you would use. And I think adding that bow up there just really set it off. And I'll probably keep that on there. Why not? If people don't like it, they can take it off. All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching me. I appreciate your support, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. It is Friday, and I am going to be running my birthday week specials. Like, I'm going to be doing some drawings. So that will be coming out sometime tomorrow, because tomorrow's my birthday, but I have to be somewhere else, and I'll be away from my computer. So be on my email list. That way you can be in the drawings if you submit your name. I've got a bunch of bundles. I've got a mini cut and emboss machine, and I think that one is in the boho blue color. And I've got pretty paper, lots of things to be giving away starting tomorrow for the next week. So have a great one. I appreciate your support. Take care. Be well and all that good stuff. All right. See you later.